Welcome back, everybody, to the Go Throw Show, brought to you guys by Flight Factory Discs. I am joined by one of the legends, the playing legends of my time, absolute baller, one of my good friends, now a Texas native, Gregg Barsby.
Thanks, brother.
Dude,
Here, man.
yeah, 2018 world champ, 2010 doubles world champ,
Right, U.S. champ.
U.S. champ.
Yeah.
All right, that's the doubles thing you did with Matteo.
It was basically, I mean, all the best players in the world were there. So,
Yeah, it counts.
I feel like it could be called the world doubles.
Well, Jack and Tiger both count their amateur wins as majors. I feel like this is up the exact same alley.
Yeah, it was, in a sense. I think it was an XM.
Yeah.
So,
What happened to your knee?
I've been out at the lake at the reservoir up here in Utah, getting a little bit of chill time before Worlds.
No doubt. You've been up here for a few days, I guess. We should mention that we are in Ogden,
Yes.
Utah for the World Championships.
Yeah, I rolled in Thursday or Friday last week,
Gotcha.
prior to the Utah Open, and got to watch from the other side of the rope.
Mm-hmm. Did you go along and watch them?
I watched a little bit. I didn't stick around like too long.
If you know the holes, you can see the scores. You can kind of tell how they
Yeah.
played. You kind of see what's going to average possibly at Worlds. It's really cool that you're able to get information like that just a
Totally.
week before.
Yeah, and just playing around. I mean, it was so hot last week anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have wanted to play in the daytime. So
Yeah, it's
I
been
played early in the morning or like later at night.
It's been so hot here. We're setting a record in the Southwest United States. If you guys don't know, this is the hottest region in the world right now. As we speak, we're in the hottest place on the planet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like the Sahara Desert region is cooler than us at the moment.
I don't doubt it, man. And like, I don't know, maybe it's something about the rocks too. Like the mountains just refract the heat.
They do. Oh, without a doubt.
It's so bright and yeah,
You get it coming, then you get it going.
Yeah,
It's no good.
it's been awesome though. It's cool. It like stays really nice till 9:30
Yeah.
out here.
The sun stays up,
Yeah.
so late. You guys are going to witness it now. You know, we started this thing past 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're just going to cruise it out the whole way.
Yeah.
But man, it's something we've wanted to do since the beginning. Have you on.
Awesome. Thank
Like
you.
I said before, one of the legends of our sport. You really
you,
are.
man.
You're the people's champion, man. Like I
what's
don't
up.
know that there's been a world championship that I know about in the past decade or even longer that more people were excited about one person taking it down. I really felt like you unified the sport by doing what you did.
You know, I've put in a lot of years. Minus 2015, I never really remember taking that much of a break.
Yeah.
So I think that had something to do with it, right? Because there's been folks in the sport that have come and gone, right? You know, life happens, family happens.
Yeah.
People have kids and they have a family life and they don't get as much time on the course. So, maybe they won't even play for 4 or 5 years. Like my friend Bubba from back home, he showed up one day. I was like, I forgot you existed. Like, what happened? Like, he's gone for 9 years.
Had a kid.
So yeah,
Had a couple.
he had kids, right?
Yeah.
And living his life, and I think that was probably one of the biggest ones because I know a lot of the legends in the sport. To me, all the guys that kind of took me under their wing at the beginning. I also know a lot of the new guys, either whether they're on tour or just meeting people at the course. I try not to come off like, hey, I'm this, and you should know who I am, right? It's more like it's more like this is our culture. This is what we do.
You're such an approachable guy too.
This is what we do. We do this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm out at the course. People ask me. I love it. That's my favorite when people are like, well, "What are you doing out here?" I'm like, "Well, same thing you are.
Throwing some frisbees.
This is what we do." Yeah. So,
Yeah. They get a kick out of seeing you in the same place as them on the same level for that period of time, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Your legendary status comes to their local home track.
And it's just like I tell a lot of guys, man, you just got to put in the work.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
If you want to get there, I mean, none of the new guys that maybe the fans have seen in the last few years that have found some success, they've been putting in that work.
Yeah.
With Chris and Calvin, Kevin,
Yep.
They've all been playing a pretty good amount of time now, 12
Mm-hmm.
years at least. So it's not like they just came out of nowhere, maybe to somebody that just started watching, and then they found him. They're thinking he was new, but
Yeah.
these guys have been regional ballers for a while.
Yeah, no doubt. Each one in their own
man.
home state. Well, talking about putting in the work, man, you have now been to 17. This will be your 18th World Championship.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I know.
How old were you when your first one?
My first one was 2000. My dad took me out to Ann Arbor, Michigan, as a first time I ever played the toboggan course. Was at that Worlds, and we played Kensington Tunnel as well, and then we played the Metro Parks Monster and Original.
Yeah. And how'd it fare? How'd you do?
I think I got ninth out of like 22 or something. We got stroked. One of the dads on, I think it was another car, it was like pretty scandalous. One of the dads said that we were like playing, as we went out, we were playing a couple of short tee pads or something, and we weren't. So I got stroked 8 strokes at that Worlds, or I would have made the finals.
Really?
Yeah, and this was before juniors was under 13, under 16, under 19. Is that what it is now?
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
This was just under 16.
Okay.
Like that's like, I think it was maybe under 10 was there too, but yeah, so under 16, and I was 13, so we were the youngsters kind of in a sense. We had
freshmen.
Yeah, there were some better players than us, but
kids are growing fast at that age. 2 years means a lot.
Yeah, that was the debut of the Firebird. Was that week?
Really?
Yeah, that's what you got in your players pack. You got a Firebird with a little mini stamp, and this was prior to Champion Edition plastic.
Really?
So it was a KC Firebird. However, it was more like special edition.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Very, very first ones.
Wow.
Yep. That I think that's what has happened a lot. Like they'll debut a new disc at like the big tournaments, or at least they used to.
Yeah. Seemed like something they were doing back in the day for sure.
Yeah.
Who won that one? Do you remember?
In my division?
No, in the pro division. MPO.
Ken Climo.
And that would have been like number...
I was number 10 for Kenny. The year after Ron beat him in Rochester.
So you're one of the few people still playing at the highest level right now that was there for those days. Like, you watched Ken Climo and Ron Russell battle it out.
For sure. Actually, Ron broke his hand, I think, in the semifinals that year. So he was in third, and then I think he broke his hand and he got like 60th, if my memory serves me. And Dr. Rick made the finals with Jesper Lundmark. And maybe was it? I don't know if it was Barry. I'm trying to recall who else was in the finals.
This is amazing because you're a historian to a degree. Like the names and times that you talk of, lots of people don't know about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of people viewing this right now that don't know who Ron Russell is.
Right. Yeah, Ron was a monster. He started disc in, I think, 1993, and with the full intention of taking Ken Climo down. So he toured relentlessly for like 6 years and beat him. Finally
was the guy to take him down.
Yeah, and when I say, you have to be a monster of a man to beat Kenny at that point. Like, he is just indomitable, It's like, so just the intimidation, the presence, the aura, right? The grittiness, the determination. Like, those are some of those things. Yeah, I mean,
he started the
Kenny's
sport
on a different level, man.
to take Kenny down.
Yes.
I've never heard that.
Yes, for sure.
Like,
that's a fact.
Somebody told him about this guy who was winning all these tournaments.
Right, and he had started playing, and I guess he saw him play, and he's like, I'm going to beat him.
I got that.
And Ron's a big guy. If you've ever met Ron, he's a large guy. Yeah, very.
That helps.
Excuse me, gangly, and but just insane touch. These guys were throwing I think Ron had 3 discs in his bag at the time. He threw cyclones, comets, and magnets.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean,
and he putted sideways.
Yeah. Well, he kind of putted sideways. His I think the link with him was that his arm would just go this far. So he would spot it out here, right, with kind of like a patent pending style stance, and then he would shuffle his back foot into position, and then he'd line it there, and then bang, and he would and he'd just let it go.
I suppose you could get some accuracy with that. I mean, he obviously took down the champ, so it works.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
And he just found his way, and I think that's probably for a lot of the viewers that are struggling with their game, or or maybe in a lull. Don't be afraid to kind of try some different stuff. Watch some videos of either some players that you like to emulate, or or find a guy locally that can just coach you down real quick. Find 10, 15 minutes, and if you practice with purpose and intention, you should be able to work some stuff out in 10, 15 minutes, and at least be able to go away from the session with kind of a, I guess, a little more advanced knowledge of what you're doing, and I think that'll help you get a lot better.
You kind of have a unique way of going about the game. Your putt is pretty personal. You don't see many people putting like you. Is that something that you developed over time, or what?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah. So, I was in the beginning. Steve Rico was one of the guys that I first saw. Actually, this is a funny story. My dad signed us up for the wrong tournament. So this is how I met all the pros. 1999, Tahoe Pro-Am. Or Tahoe Pro, and then the Tahoe Am, I think, was the week before or something. My dad, signed us up for the Pro, unknowingly.
How old are you at the time?
I was 12.
All right.
Yeah, so I was playing, Am 2, still juniors, but I was starting to get into Am 2, but then he signed us up for the wrong one. So went up there, and of course, all the NorCal legends, Jim Oates, Michael Travers, Mike Loya, obviously the Lissaman brothers, Nate Doss, Josh Anton, when they were both still, relatively young. I mean, I think Josh has me by 6 or 7 years. Nate's only a couple years older than I am. So, but yeah, a lot of the, maybe Nate wasn't there. Maybe my memory's fading, but. Yeah, a lot of good players. Obviously, Stevie and Bomba Rico. That's where I first met the Rico brothers, and Gary Sandoval, and a lot of the SoCal guys. Ken McKelvey.
Did you end up playing with any of these guys?
The first round, and then my dad and I battled for DFL. Yeah.
Nice.
But it was really fun because we got to see the lead card, because that was when it was shotgun start.
Okay.
So we were on the last hole,
and they were
on hole 1. So I get to watch all their shots land and stuff. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I was throwing a first run Puma. I remember throwing that Puma I was throwing that like a madman up in the mountains,
Crazy, dude.
Great disc.
What? I don't even know what a Puma is.
It's like hey, do you know what a wolf is?
Yeah, mid-range.
Yeah, it's like a thicker wolf.
Okay.
Yeah, a little slower wolf, maybe a smaller diameter.
I got you.
With a thumb track on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you saw some people putting there. You saw some technique. You got to see the pros up close. And
Yeah. So that was kind of the beginning, right? And obviously the Listmans and Mike Loya were probably I think the biggest influencers on my game to a certain extent, as far as their talent and their ability to win events and be there to have the opportunity to win events.
Yeah.
But I took kind of after Rico, right? He was pretty young, and I mean, obviously, if people have heard of Steve Rico, if you've been in the game, you know that he's one of the most deadly putters of all time, without a doubt. So I kind of molded mine after him for a while.
Did you? You had the spinner?
Yeah, it was all spin, a lot of leg. Even I was up till probably 2006. I was playing open for 4 or 5 years until I kind of started to get away from the traditional stance, and I think I really made that commitment when I got second place at the Players Cup, my first second place at a major in 2006. Avery beat me by 4, and I missed 6 straddle putts that week. And I remember going home thinking about
making your weakness your strength.
Right, and I set out to be the best straddle putter in the world at that point. And Barry was still really hot at that point, so I knew that was going to be a tall order, because Barry is just a machine. Drano.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of started to develop that putt. I kind of built it off of Barry, I built it off of Jeff, and then kind of just added my own little twist into it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of tried to make it my own. And it took a little bit, but, it started to land and it started to feel comfortable. I mean, when I was younger, I really used to get the nose down hard, kind of almost Ricky-esque with the nose down, really diving in there. Nowadays, I think it's a little bit more chilled out. I don't putt them as hard. I don't, I literally don't putt them as hard unless I need to.
Yeah.
Just because, 3 putts don't look good
Yeah.
That was another big one, right? Like,
but you also, I mean, you're known to be one of the most aggressive guys out there when it comes to putting. Like, I'm thinking about hole 11 at Fox Run coming down the stretch for the World Championship.
Yeah.
You have like a 50, 60 footer down the hill, OB behind it.
Through the trees.
Awkward
stance.
Cashed it, dude. It was so nasty.
Through the trees, awkward stance.
Bro, I was watching that on
a dirty
110 inches, and I couldn't believe it. I had to stand up. I lost my seat. It was amazing.
That was a big moment. I think that was, the start of that round was a little harrowing, right? Josh is making everything, but that's nothing new to me. Playing with Josh since I was 13.
Josh starts draining off the first hole.
Yeah, so.
Hits a jumper, walking it in, fist pumping.
Yeah.
You know that he's coming after one because he's been
bad,
there,
man.
as bad as anybody.
He wants it real bad, and I know that too, right? And Josh, I think, has had the better. I think Josh has had the better of me through the years, but not when I'm on. I'm able to make big enough shots to kind of, I wouldn't say get in his head, but I make big enough shots to where he has to think. Because when you let Josh go on cruise control, he's going to stomp you every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you've got to make enough critical shot making to stay in it.
Yeah.
With him.
You got to show him a little something.
You're going to have to make a lot of shots in a row.
If you flip over and play dead, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, he's a shark. I wouldn't bet with him.
Yeah.
I don't bet with Josh anymore. I've learned my lesson.
I know. I'm 0 for 1, and I think I'll keep that record
That's
there.
good. That's great. You're 0 for 1. I saw Josh at a Scandia mini golf, like randomly. I'm like with like my friends from high school, right? And I knew Josh. We went down to Scandia in Rockland, or maybe it's like Roseville, Sacramento area. And I see Josh there with like a couple of his buddies from Rio Linda.
At the putt-putt course?
Yeah, they're playing for $100 a man. Josh is back 3 and going in the last hole. It's like a volcano hole.
Yeah.
Right? You got to go up,
make
and
it
then
up
you got
the
to go
thing.
down.
Yeah.
Homie went back and forth like 4 times. Josh sunk it. Josh sunk it in one, and dude takes a 6. He's like throwing the club. Just threw away like $500. Josh is out there betting.
He's a gamer, dude.
He's out there betting.
Yeah.
It's the blue ones on that. You're like, wow, dude. Okay. Oh.
It's hard to compare to in other sports. I think somebody who's been as dedicated, who's come as close as him.
Oh man.
I really don't know if there is a person in golf that is really like that. Maybe like a Sergio until he won the Masters recently.
Right, yeah. Or
in sports,
maybe Phil.
Yeah.
Until he won.
Yeah.
Speaking of, shout out to Phil for winning a few weeks ago.
Unbelievable, man. At age 50.
Ew.
Yeah, as we sit here, the U.S. Open goes on as well. We were just talking about Louis Oosthuizen, who I got to shout out my boy real quick. Drained a 54-footer on hole 18 to vault himself into the final pairing for Sunday. Just
It's disgusting.
unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
That's like a throw-in. I mean, the equivalent of 54-foot putt is
I always say it's like 1 to 6.
something like that.
But that might be, once you get it that big, right, it's about 160-footer.
Yeah, 160.
Chipped it in.
Yeah, he threw a little something in on 18 to make it count. He'll be there Sunday. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's, majors are a different vibe, man.
They are.
It's just, you see the cream kind of rise, I think, in majors from time to time, more often than not.
More often than not.
Especially now with crowds coming back in, I think there's a little bit more pressure, with 1,000 or more eyes on you. So.
There has to be more pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some young guys who were getting away with one last year with not having any crowds, not having the pressure like that. I mean,
yeah, it's just a different element, man.
It totally is.
Crowds definitely bring. There's an energy there. Right?
You had to land your drive on 18 inbounds in front of, hundreds, however many hundreds of people there was. What was that like, man? If you guys, obviously many of you know what Fox Run Hole 18 looks like.
Yeah.
It's a lot of OB.
Yeah, there is. Oh, man. Actually, initially, right, Josh had the bad roll away, that tough break, and all I was thinking was, don't go be right.
Yeah.
But I kind of modified my mindset. I luckily let that wave crash in my brain and then let some new thoughts come through, and I was like, maybe I don't have to play the most overstable disc in my arsenal.
Right.
I think I play the very overstable one, and I throw it really, really hard, and you hammer it out there, and you make sure you commit to the angle, and You know, it stuck. And,
Yeah, it did.
you know, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Which is cool, right? I knew that I had a stroke to give, but when that one landed in bounds, I knew I was basically home free.
Interesting to hear you say you let that wave crash. Like you let that thought escape, which is so hard to do in the moment.
Yeah. That's the game. I mean, you can have all the skills in the world if you don't have like that headset on right and just understand, just staying present. You know, that's a big goal I'm working on this week, is just staying present, staying in the moment, focusing on each and every shot.
Yeah.
Not trying to let anything bad, because ultimately it's going to happen, right? Like, you're never just going to play a perfect tournament.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do that, even for one
is.
round, much less 5. So,
Agreed.
you know, just keeping a, you know, steady headset on, right? Not get too far up and down on the emotional scale.
So, take me back to Europe, 2017? 2017. Almost, I mean, a similar situation to the one that you had. What did you learn in that situation that prepared you for Vermont 18?
If you find a rooftop, go hang out there. Oh, you're talking about the golf course? Yeah.
Rooftops in Europe?
Oh, that was a fun night.
Pretty salty?
That was a super fun night, yeah. Philo and I were out hanging at Fat Lady, which is like a club.
Nice.
Met a couple friends, and
Yeah.
they had a pad where they, you know, and it stays light for like 21 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're just like
Up in
up
Scandinavia.
hanging out, you know, on the rooftop. It was fantastic.
You know what I'm talking about, though. Like,
Yeah.
and if other people don't, Gregg played a nearly flawless round. You were talking about how hard it is to play a round, and then how hard it would be to play a complete tournament, and you had damn near done that.
Yeah, minus the third round. I kind of fumbled a couple times the third round. I missed some short putts at that event. That really cost me. You know, I call it my European Open miss, right? Where I hit a lot of chains on the right side. Their baskets are a little different, nice heavy chain, and they hit, and then they just kind of fall out. I did that like 4 or 5 times in that tournament. So I was throwing the disc so well, right? And I think it boils down to fundamentals. You know, doesn't matter who you're playing in front of or like the pressure and stuff. If you're comfortable with your fundamentals and you're comfortable with what you've been doing, and you understand your pieces and how they fly, I think it kind of eases the pressure off. You kind of hit the pressure release valve a little bit, and you know, you almost feel like you got a little secret in your pocket or whatever. You're like, I'm gonna throw this perfect shot.
Yeah.
These people don't even know, man. And that was the first time I'd really played well in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been going to Europe since. I take that back. I got 8th at European Masters, but I didn't play phenomenal.
Okay. This time you put yourself in the position right off the bat. I mean, did you shoot hot round off the start?
I did. Yeah, I was the leader or co-leader of the event until the very last hole. And then I miscued on the drive, a little timing error, threw it out of bounds, and you know, old boy threw it inbounds and threw it up there pretty good.
Yeah.
I threw a really good second shot just to get out in there, and then made a huge putt.
Nasty putt.
Yeah, that was a big one, right? There was like 3,000 people there.
There was 3,000 people
that
there.
That was a good moment, man. That one was really, really good. Just I think for just, you know, my overall morale and resolve, right? I didn't go down without a fight.
No, you
know,
solidified
obviously.
your entire time there with a stamp at the end.
Yeah.
Like you didn't win it, but you won so many people over.
Totally.
And honestly, it prepared you for the next year, if you think about it. You know, we learned so much more from our losses, from those hard times, than we do from any of the wins.
Yeah, I agree. I think that more than anything else was that I just knew that I had it in the tank.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always known, right? But you question sometimes, man, is this going to happen for me? You know, am I going to be the bridesmaid again? I mean, that was my 3rd second at a major, right?
Yeah.
Second one that I lost by 1 throw, which is just, you know, this far a lot of times in our sport. So, you know, or that far out of your hand. So, I mean,
You had the belief.
yeah, for sure. And it was at that point, I think I had been fed up with some stuff. I was a little tired, you know, I was a little exhausted, and, you know, you get that close, and it wasn't really a letdown for me. I didn't let myself fall into that, like, pity party, like, oh man, it didn't work, you know, this is who I am. Like, you know, let's put the head down, let's just drive it forward, right? We're gonna get this one.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna happen at some point. So it was nice to see it happen to Vermont. I mean, I couldn't have picked a better place. I think not only venue-wise, but like as far as like the staff and the way that Worlds was ran was just super clean. I mean, it was flawless.
Yeah. When it comes to big tournaments, Vermont is as good as anybody at pulling them off.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, you know that you're playing a course and a venue that's going to create the best golfer. Whoever is playing the best this weekend is going to win. It's just a fair, hard test of golf up there, You can't say that for every place.
No, certainly not. I remember when I first went to Green Mountain and I saw like there's some really nice forehand lines and a good wooded course and then an open course. I said to myself, I think I could see myself winning here.
Yeah.
Maybe I could win Green Mountain one day.
Yeah.
I think so. Like it really suits me up well. And then, I won the tournament at Green Mountain, which was bigger than Green Mountain.
Talk about a nasty forehand on hole 15. You absolutely laced the line. You got me hole 15 Fox run.
Oh yeah, last round.
Yeah, final round. Like, how big is that, man? To keep the lead.
Oh,
I was
tied. I was still tied. Yeah. Well, I had Josh, but I think Macbeth had come into the clubhouse at 39.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's when the heat was on. I missed the putt on 12 or 13. Almost threw in on 12. Just go in the basket. 15 was big, right? And I remember that was a new hole, and I'm like, they made this hole for me. They made it for me.
Was that an eagle?
That was a pre-flight Star Firebird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember that being like the silkiest forehand I've probably ever thrown.
It was the furthest from the trees that you can go down the center of the fairway around the pole, like tap in.
Yeah, wood chips.
Yeah. Like my dude is about to do this, is what I thought when I saw that. Like, dude, the steel that you had in that moment to throw a shot like that.
Man, that was one of those ones that, I knew I had to kind of come back and forth from myself into like the golf, right? And I'm like trying to coach myself through it, right? And you get that close, you get those opportunities, and they just don't come very often. Some people never get those opportunities, right? So it's like, just staying present, right? Let's focus, right? I think even bigger shot was the second shot on 16, where I was running up the hill, and I pounded my Thunderbird through the gap, because that gap isn't that easy when you're running uphill. It looks a lot easier on the camera.
Yeah. Right's dead, OB.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't lay up. I know Josh is on go mode, so I threw it out there. I still missed the putt, but the thing was, I just kept the gas going.
Yeah.
You just don't get those opportunities. Just don't. They don't show up. So I had this annoying kid in Finland came up to me. He's like, "Oh, you sure look nervous." I said, "If you've put everything in your life and your being into something, would you not be focused on it 100%? I don't care what I look like." That's what I told him, and he kind of just looked at me. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you look nervous. I'm like, well, I've put everything into this.
This is a culmination of my life.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I wouldn't say sacrifice is the right word, but I would say, I've compromised, friendships, my family relationships. Obviously, my mom and dad are super supportive. My sister, who lives in Maui, she's my number one fan. But they know how much time and effort I've put into it, right? And, you compromise your friendships and, maybe, love interests or relationships or whatever, just to kind of chase down this, this thing that seems like it's a mirage for a lot of people, or it isn't real. So, but, I always knew it was real, and I knew I had, love and talent for the game, and wanted to showcase that. It's really cool that, I have that. It's an honor to have a world title.
It's unbelievable to have a world title.
Yeah, it's not something that everybody gets. I know a lot of better golfers than me that don't play anymore, that don't have one.
Yeah.
I saw some comment thread. I try not to read comments, but I did see one, and they were counting me out this week. So I love it. I love it, dude. I love it. I got something for y'all.
Get my boy fired up.
Oh yeah, dude. Sometimes you gotta go read a little comment. Get yourself. She's like, oh, look at this clown.
Yeah.
Let me pull some Nico. Let me channel my Nico. These clowns on the internet want to go ahead and talk. It's like, cool, bro.
These keyboard warriors.
You might not see the ring, but it's there. I was a big underdog before at that Worlds, but I didn't let myself think, oh, I can't do it. Like, if you're an underdog, it doesn't mean you don't have the skills to do it. Plus, I was already hot off of European, right? I got second at European. I got fourth at the U.S. Open that year.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I was on a real heater, so I knew that I'm right there.
Yeah.
You know, let's just push through. Like, sometimes you just, you can't let the bile in your head get in the way of like what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna do something, like, you gotta act. You gotta. A friend of mine told me, you know, life's an occasion. You gotta rise to it. So that's kind of been my mantra, like moving forward. You know, bought a house, right? I'm like starting to get life going, which is really great. And just like life's an occasion. You gotta rise to it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what it is, whether.
Well, you're one of the incredible people that has had the ability and followed through with what exactly you just said. Like, to be able to claim what you've worked towards.
Yeah.
Something that's so far away.
It's funny. I listen to like rappers and stuff. And they talk about, you know, all their friends with the houses and the cars and the kids and stuff. I have a ton of friends now. I'm 34, so it's like I have a ton of friends that have a nice house and the family and stuff. I've been still on this disc golf thing, you know. Same dude since high school, right? I was playing open in sophomore year, so it's like the same deal, right? It took me a little bit longer, but got it done.
Dude, yeah, there's no timeline for this sort of thing.
Right.
You know, I'm 34 as well.
I wish. 87?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm chilling at my second Worlds.
When's your birthday?
April 16th.
Oh, wow, I got you.
Do you?
I have you by,
Are you February,
45
January?
days, February, yeah.
Okay, all right. 45 whole days, man.
Something like that.
Dude, you old timer, you.
So you're on your second World.
Second Worlds, man. It's crazy to think what you accomplish in a career, and you're the same age as I am.
I've got a lot of top 20s at Worlds. Worlds was actually my kryptonite tournament until I won it. Like the best Worlds that I had prior to that was tied for 10th at Portland, and I was down a wing on the first 2 days. I didn't have a sidearm at Milo the first 2 days.
What do you mean you didn't have it?
I had like injured it or something happened. Like I wasn't going to throw it because I knew I was going to like throw my arm out or something. So yeah, I just played all backhand, and I played really well at that Worlds.
That's crazy.
I was proud of that finish, even though it was top 10. And I think I got like $900.
At the time?
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
I was like, all right.
I'm definitely playing a couple more.
Yeah. Yeah. I've played every one since 2007.
Have you had injuries other than that, nagging injuries? You know, talk about the toll that it's taken on your body. You talked about the toll on relationships and other stuff. Like,
yeah, bodily. Yeah, there's a lot, right? I mean, I've got a laundry list of injuries that I've gone through. I broke my ankle when I was a kid, so you can maybe see the scar right there.
Skateboarding?
Skateboarding. My dad was not happy with me. Kids, don't skateboard before the World Championships. Just go putt. So that's always, you know, for a while, my ankle really did hurt. And that was also part of why I like started to switch my putt, because the other one was getting to be like I was pushing off the left foot, and it's like it's realigned incorrectly. So it really started to become a pain.
Yeah.
And then, man, I got smushed at this concert, man. I wasn't even in the mosh pit. That's the thing, dude. I was running.
Was this a death metal concert?
Yeah, that was Decrepit Birth. Super sick band.
Dude, their names are so good.
Shout out to anybody who knows Decrepit Birth. We are the Metatron. I mean, I'm running across the front, right? There's like a circle pit going around. I run across the front while everybody's back out there this way. Not a big venue, pretty intimate. I slipped on some water. I'm not kidding. And go into like this corner right here. And like before I can get up, these two huge guys also slip, like dead weight into me, dude. I had a tattoo of the grate from the amplifier or from the speaker for 3 weeks.
No way.
Yes, I had a tattoo of the grate. So it completely ripped my L4 in half.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the quadratus laborium. Is that what it's called? I think it is.
Nobody knows.
Can we get a Google?
Nobody knows that.
Can we get a Google? Yeah, so I tore my L4 like pretty much just straight in half.
Golly.
And then played through that.
Like, what was it like at the time? Like, right after it happened?
Oh my gosh. I took Matty O to that concert, and I probably remember looking up with the real puppy dog eyes like, this is not good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, that was a rough one, man.
Yeah,
that one took, that changed my whole game.
No more mosh pits or what?
Definitely no more mosh pits. I'd rather incite those, but it just changed my game. I couldn't really wrench the disc up in the air like I used to when I was younger. So I kind of had to
big spike hyzers.
Yeah, I kind of had to develop a little bit more of like a flat, low-lying shot.
Like that eagle you throw so well.
Yeah,
the
totally.
eagle lines. Woo.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of based that shot off of like, you know, Climo a little bit.
Those are some of the prettiest lines in disc golf.
Yeah, I mean, A to B, you know, like that was Climo's MO, right? Just you know, flat flying shots that have the good control and speed, and so you know, I just tried to work with what I had, and then I tore up my elbow pretty good in 2015.
Overuse or?
Overuse. I hyperextended it when I was in Europe. That was a pretty dark time for me. I was ranked like 3rd in the world. In 2015, and we played in Skellefteå. There was like this much standing water on the whole course, and I remember slipping out and trying to like extend my arm over to the line to hit the shot, and I just felt it seize up.
On a backhand?
On a backhand. Yeah, and I just felt it seize up, and I knew it was really bad. Actually, I bet you I could get one of those in.
That was right next to the camera. I'm sure they heard that. So ever since that day.
Yeah, that happens. So that was the one time that, you know, and then I tried to play through it because I was already in Europe. So we went to European Open. I got like last cash. And then came back to Worlds in Pittsburgh. And I had to DNF that tournament because the pain was too much.
Whoa.
And I didn't touch a disc for 8 months. Didn't throw a disc right-handed for 8 months. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a really
It would be a
interesting
dark time, yeah.
Yeah, like for sure. I mean, you saw Yuli went through the ACL. Yeah. Simon had some elbow stuff too. It's like, yeah, you really have to keep your head set, like on, you know, those can be some tough times. You know, you're sitting there on the couch, like, I can't eat another bag of Cheetos, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, you go through some time, like at that point I'm like, man, do I want to go back and weld? Should I go back and start welding again and go to trade school?
Yeah.
Because obviously I want the disc golf to pay off, but I need to kind of start to build a future.
I need a job and I got to make some cash.
Got to make money, you know, and I think at that point I probably only had, you know, $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000, you know, in the bank to my name. So that was a rough one, you know. Went back home, stayed with my parents, you know. They weren't very happy, and obviously, and so I put them through some shit. Yeah.
But came out a better man, dude.
My parents are great, though. You know,
that's awesome.
They've shown me support. 2016 was a tough year too, man. I really had to like, you know, muscle through that year. That's the year I got the seed ticks, and that was.
I don't know that story.
Really?
No.
This was.
I know what seed ticks are though. Like
the little tiny ticks, right? Like you brush up against one of those, and like
all of a sudden there's like 50 of them.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We were playing this private course in the Ozarks after GBO.
Missouri?
Yeah, in Missouri. I think it was in Ozark, Missouri.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I kind of out in the sticks, off the grid. Bunch of friends were out there. I played the course with Matt Mayo, and we battled for the course record.
You and Mayo?
Me and Mayo, just Mayo and I.
What?
And the course designer. And this place is just like, super tight, super tough. We were shredding this course. Like if you kick off, it's like get the spider wand ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's played out here. Nobody's walked out there. Like you're in the sticks.
Whoa.
So we get all the way to hole 18. And I don't know what happened, man. I don't know if I like brushed up against something. I
mean, you never know with those things, man. It could have been anything.
So all of a sudden, I'm like super itchy, right? And I kind of look down and I see these like tiny little specks. I'm like, oh no, what are these? Like the sea ticks. And you know, some of the guys had some beers already while we were out playing. They're like, whatever, you're fine. You know, so I go into this, actually like one of the nicest little creeks in the Ozarks. It's like super clean water. To try to wash them off. And, you know, the guys were kind of giving me shit. They were like, whatever, dude, it's on your mind, right? Like, yeah. I'm like, no, there's like little bugs on me. Like, I'm not kidding, dude. So the next evening, we finally got out of there. I went and got a hotel, and I went swimming in the pool, you know, to kill them. So, yeah,
the chlorine.
in the morning, the next morning, right, because we stayed overnight and all through the next day. The next morning, I showed Mayo, and he's like, oh my God. He's like, how are you still here? I'm like, where am I going to go? You know, we're off the grid. Like,
Tell me.
I went and took a hot shower. I did everything I could do, but I finally went into the chlorine, killed the bugs. Fast forward 6 months, fast forward a couple months. I had just joined up on the dude tour to ride around with that dude. And I woke up we were up in Ludington, Michigan. And, you know, Chris Finn's like, come on, mate, get up, you know. It's time to go play some golf, you know. Got another tournament. Like, no. He's like, hey, come on, mate.
Yeah.
Let's go. You got to get up. You know, 2 times in a half hour. Like, I'm not playing. Dude, I had a rash all over my body. Like a crazy, crazy rash.
Because of the ticks.
Yes. Eventually, right, some of them embedded so deep in my skin that, like, my skin started to, like...
Reject them and fight them and, like...
Right. Well, it didn't really reject him. I think I was having, like, gnarly allergic reaction, like, 2 months later, right? So I'm, like, the case study for seed ticks. Like, kid walks out of the Ozarks. The doctor said this to me. He's like, can I take photos? I've seen this. My coworker hasn't seen this.
Is this associated with Lyme? Like, you don't have Lyme's disease?
I had rickettsia, which is the little cousin of Lyme's disease. So the ticks weren't big enough to bite a deer.
Okay.
So, but I had rickettsia, so I had to take, like, some gnarly antibiotics, and, you know, it kind of thins your epidermis.
Yeah.
So they can excrete out. So they had to come out.
What?
It was one of the darkest times.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, if you were like, how's tour? I'm like, don't talk to me.
I got little bugs crawling in my
I'm glad I can laugh about
I feel
it
like
now
the
because
mummy.
it really sucked. That was that era really, really blew.
What else you got going on, Irons in the Fire? I mean, we talked about some new stuff you're working on. You want to let the people in on anything specific?
Yeah, man, I do have a couple things going on. I mean, we're working on building some stuff down in East Texas. I'd really like to get, you know, a higher profile for the area. So I'll kind of keep it under wraps now as far as details. But yeah, we're working on some stuff. I mean, obviously, the Barsby battles. I'm going to be out seeing some people at the end of the next tour. We're doing the Midwest swing.
Okay.
After Worlds, I'll go home for 8 days, and then I'll do the Midwest swing.
Idlewild, Ledgestone.
No Idlewild.
Preserve.
I'm doing
Okay.
Des Moines, Mad City, D-Glow, Preserve, Ledgestone.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll be coming back through, like, Missouri and a couple places. So
Okay.
that's cool. Got some new stuff for Barsby line for my website, which will drop after Worlds. So
Okay.
that'll be kind of fun.
All right. This will come out at perfect timing then. Let the people know.
Yeah.
Head over to the website.
Please, and thank you to everybody that has so far. You know, I'm hopefully going to write another blog post. It's been a little bit. There's been some stuff that happened on the West Coast I'd like to share. So, yeah, big thanks to everybody that goes to my website, that's ordered a tour support package. Got a bunch of sweet hats, beanies, new stamp from Mike Durko. Shout out Mike Durko.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of it.
I mean, yeah, Skeet, Dan Lyons, those guys are great, man. Got some killer art on some golf discs. So
Go check out his website. It's Patriarch. He's George Washington.
Yeah, you know, I'm really fortunate, man. My buddy DJ back home he's just super instrumental in making all that happen when we built the website, right? Like and DJ and I are kind of like brothers, you know. We'll tiff about stuff that we're real passionate about, and then, you know, okay, I understand he has his point, and he knows I have my point.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, that's why we make a good team. So, yeah, keep your eyes out for a limited edition sweatshirt that's going to be coming out here pretty quick. I know it's summertime. Maybe I won't drop it until it's fall. I'm not sure yet.
I don't know, man. Get ready. Everybody loves hoodies.
There's always something to drop.
Dude, the girls are going to turn their AC down to 68 and then put on all their sweatpants and stuff and chill and watch their movies and stuff.
And get a blanket. The blanket's for comfort.
Yeah.
Right? It's more of like a, I feel safe. It's a safety.
It is. It is. Totally.
What else is new? The staff here. We just got word. I just got word about the group.
We did just get word. The producers notified us right away that you are on a feature card that GK is going to be filming tomorrow with some legends, bro.
Yes. The first round?
First round Worlds. Barry Schultz, AJ, Avery Jenkins, and Steve Rico, dude.
Wow.
We were just talking about Steve Rico a second ago.
Yeah.
One of the guys you modeled the game after.
For sure. And Stevie's a baller. I mean, Avery had his times too. He had so many top fives. I mean, he's always right there, and then he got his title.
Yeah. One of the best throwers of the disc in the game.
Yeah, Barry, the most gifted thrower.
Timeless wonder, dude.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He is, man.
Actually, Barry's influenced me more than I'd like to admit, probably. As far as his golf ethic, right? He's really low key.
Yeah.
I asked him before the final round of Worlds because he was playing pretty good. I think he was like in 12th or 15th going in the final round. So I warmed up considerably before that last round, and I got over to Barry, and I'm like, all right, man, what do you got for me?
Yeah.
Like, you've done it a couple times. Like, tell me something. You know what I mean? Like,
give me the secret now.
I gotta go play. Right. He told me, he's like, don't do anything different than you've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, Barry, we need to get these putts in the basket. You're talking about Barry, tell me to make the putt.
Tell me how to unlock the secret.
Right. I'm like, Barry, tell me to make all the putts. I'll make all the putts, Barry.
Whatever you say, Barry, just tell me.
Yes, he's like,
just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
You're here for a reason, man.
Barry's, he's got such great touch. I think that's what separates him from a lot of the really, really good players is Barry's got insane touch. Those toss-ins, he's
playing catch with a bucket.
He's really good at those too.
Well, man.
Maybe that's like what I'm going after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chip it in on Bear.
Yeah,
Let me chip one in on Bear.
I remember the tournament after you won Worlds was the Delaware Challenge.
Yeah.
And I watched that coverage and watched you nearly throw in, and then like throw in again or something.
Yeah.
You were so dialed at that time, dude. Baskets were shaking from 150 in.
Yeah, it's like you twist the key and the lock's open, right? And
it's amazing, dude.
There it is. Over and over and over.
Over and over, dude.
Right? And that's another thing for the viewers, right? If you want to get better at those shots, you got to practice them. Like, I go out and I chip around from 120, 90, 140, 110, right? Like, you can go, I have a couple videos on YouTube. I don't really prop my YouTube channel a lot because I don't put out a ton of content, but I put one out with this little game I play, and I set them about 10, 15 feet back from each other. So I can get it dialed from 85 and I can get it dialed from 150 and try to make the movement uniform to where it's the same every time.
Is that all feel for you, or are you using a rangefinder like in tournaments and stuff?
Oh, that's all feel. Yeah. I don't really mess with the rangefinder.
Okay.
Last time I played with Yuli, because Yuli's kind of the Bushnell guy. Like,
yeah. It's kind of the Bushnell guy.
I'm like, what's that, 245? He's like, it's 248. I'm like, all right, I'll take mine.
I'm chilling.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm good. Right?
Cool, I was right.
Yeah, it's all feel. And the main thing is just keeping that nose up, on some of those shots that you want to get aggressive.
Yeah.
You can throw it harder with the nose up, and the resistance from the wind will slow it down, right? If you hit it hard, like as hard as I'm throwing them, there's no way I could throw them flat. Like, it has to be nose up so it can gently glide down.
Yeah. Because
you don't want to burn it 30 feet by. Like,
yeah. Dude, the champ is unlocking things for you guys right now.
Like, that's why you don't want to. That's why you don't run them unless you're comfortable with that shot, and that's why I practice it all the time. Is because I can get comfortable in big situations with it.
Yeah.
Like some people really like pressure. I've learned through the years to kind of vibe with it, and there's always kind of a different vibe with each crowd, and try to feel it out and feel that energy. But you've got to practice it enough to where your fundamentals can take over, and your subconscious can kind of, get activated instead of you thinking in like that results orientated thought process to more of like just the process of letting the disc go and how it feels when you're lining it up and what you're doing correctly, or being able to diagnose when you're maybe not doing it so well, right? And why, right? A little bit of self-critique is always good, and maybe watch a little film, set up your phone and watch yourself do it and see what's really going on, and that way you can go back and you can make adjustments and you can kind of just chisel it down until it's a really sharp point.
Yeah.
You get it to that sharp point, and then you can almost just let it fly free, because that you've put in that time. There's something about when you put in that work. Like, there's been times in my career where I knew that I worked the hardest out of anybody, and I didn't care what place I got, because I know that I put in enough work that if I win, it's not going to be a surprise, because I know how much work I put in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of like Worlds too. I mean, there was always a little bit of, oh, is this going to happen? Gosh, I hope it doesn't, unravel on me or whatever. But I had been hammering the fundamentals. I mean, Philo and I were in Europe. We did the Cali Challenge Tour in 2018. We did 16 clinics and 4 tournaments in like 33 days or something.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous in 9 countries.
Yeah.
So we were like on go mode.
Yeah. You were talking about the fundamentals.
Every
you were demonstrating them.
Every single day, right? So like, I'm reteaching myself. I'm relearning every day. I'm working with somebody and locking them in and showing them how to do it. And like, we're just working on the game together. I can't stress enough how nice it is to find a friend that you can work on the game with. If you can work on stuff and vibe with a friend that you can kind of challenge each other on the come up, it'll just do you wonders, because I know it's an individual sport, but we rise together. Divided we don't do as well. And it's always going to be that way. You
see like Anthony Burrell and Adam Hammies, or
right.
There's a bunch of examples on tour, but that's one of them. Elevating each other's game. Yeah,
totally. I mean, I toured with Matty O for 5 years, Matt Oram. That was when I was throwing Discraft, and he was throwing Innova.
No way.
So he would throw his T-Bird, I would throw my Avenger, right? He'd throw his Destroyer, I'd take out my Force. Just finding someone you can vibe with, and
totally.
That'll just help improve your game so much, and rooting each other on. Like, I play with Matt Bell all the time. Of course I want to beat him. But Bell's a stellar putter. I know that I'm going to have to putt with Matt. Right? So it's like immediately boosts me up, right? I always just kind of get the little more chesty when I'm around Bell. I'm like, all right,
today's round, you're expected to make everything.
All right, dude, I guess I'm going to have to keep cashing them all day. And then there's been times I've been throwing the disc so well that I know that Matt's going to have to make them all if he's going to stick with me. And that's just like, you have to have that. It's sports, you have to have that mentality. Like, good luck. You're going to need to you're going to need to do it all day.
I'm bringing it today.
I'm not going away. You're going to have to do that all day to get me. And there's been times he has, and then there's other times that he tried his damnedest, and then I'm like, sorry, dude, I just threw it a little too good today.
Yeah, but either way, it was that little bit of fire, between the relationship that started things. And
right. When you're friends with somebody, you can still have that, like, competitive relationship, too, right? Where you're like, yeah, you might even be getting in the same car at the end, but, well, you want to beat them. Look, it used to not be so friendly. I mean,
we're lucky we play a sport where it is friendly. I mean, there's sports where your friend's a fighter and you might be picked to fight him at some point. Yeah.
You got to beat each other up a little bit.
Dude, beat each other up, man.
But I know guys that have gotten in arguments over who got like first and second in the car, right?
On the way home.
And ultimately, it's like you guys are on the road, right? You put it all back in the car.
Right.
I think Philo was a little pissed. I beat him at CCR the one time, because I was riding in his van. I'm like, sorry, man.
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
Yeah.
Like, play some golf.
And then I won
rent just went up,
and then I won the Worlds like 2 weeks later or whatever.
Oh, really?
I was like, like 3 weeks later. So I was like, yeah, it wasn't just you, bro. I beat everybody. Yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna get some new.
Yeah, we went to this tournament. We played it blind, and went 1-2, and then like he won all the skins. Like, we took everything out of it. Shout out to Lansing, man. Shout out to CCR guys, man. Miss y'all. Can't wait to come back. That was a fun clinic.
Nice.
Shout out to everybody that's come out to our clinics. It really means a lot. All the Barsby battles, the Barsbarian horde.
Yeah.
Savages out there.
They are savages, man.
They are, bro. They're not going to shy away from it.
By they, I mean I. I am a
savage.
I am a savage and a Barsby.
He's like,
Barsbarian. Yeah.
I don't even know where that came into my mind from. All I know is that weirdo Randy Signor, whoever writes for the magazine, said that Germ made it up, and that is false.
Which magazine?
Disc Golf magazine.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with that dude.
Okay.
He didn't come to my Barsby battle either up in Washington. You don't want the real story, you don't even give me a call. I'm not a hard guy to get a hold of, man. If you want the story, just give me a call, man. Don't be making shit up.
No doubt. It sounds like, the story needs to come out. The true story needs to come out.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
I don't have my own magazine, so try to keep it internal.
Yeah. You've got this right now. You can say whatever you want.
This is even better than a magazine. This is so great, man. I'm so happy you have me on here.
Just chilling on a couch in the mountains,
awesome.
man.
Oh, man. I didn't even look over there.
How's it looking back there, man?
It's a nice little tan hue. This is such an amazing place. Yeah. You guys ever get the chance to come to either Salt Lake or Ogden, especially.
Yeah.
We're in Eden right now.
Yep.
Which is up in the Ogden Valley. Super legit.
And you just took us to one of the sickest reservoirs I've ever been to. We're going back Monday. For those cliffs.
With the crew.
Yeah, and that rope swing.
We're trying to bring GK out. We're gonna try to get him out there with the camera. You guys definitely want to see this. We're gonna have a rowdy crew out there Monday.
Yeah.
I figure Monday, right? Like, we've all put in the time. I don't know many of the guys that are gonna be wanting to play golf on Monday, the day before Worlds. I feel like it's just best to get away from all that, get out in nature, and
we've all had a week to prepare.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to get in those extra holes on Monday.
Right. If you don't have it the day before, you might
distract yourself a little bit. You don't need to be grinding on it already.
Totally, yeah. It's going to be a long 5 days. There's a lot of time to think at these Worlds, right?
No doubt.
Especially if you're in a good spot. You start mulling over these things.
Scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that being directive with the thought process is going to be really important.
Yeah.
For me this week for sure, and just keeping my head straight. I think that goes for a lot of the guys,
Dude, it would make me and so many other people proud and happy to see you win a second one.
I think that there's a good possibility. I think more than what the odds are putting me at.
Dude. Yeah.
I mean, these courses really line in for my game well, especially if I get going, right? If the putter comes alive, my game really starts to come alive, you know. Fort's kind of scrambly.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna quote Matty O on this one. He told me, he's like, man, dude, you just better say your prayers in the morning, dude. When you got mulligans, bro. He's like, man, dude, you better say your prayers, dog. Just hope it don't roll away, though.
You got one of the best Matty O impressions out there. On point. He's right, though.
Yeah, you just, because it could go either way. You could throw it 2 feet. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about that. I'm gonna take the host role. What do you think about this new? What'd you call it? Something happened today. This new information that the bunkers aren't going to be lined this week.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to hear, man. They were offered a free service and they turned it down to make our course more professional. They had the option to make it more professional and they declined the offer. They said, we don't care to make our out of bounds lines
definitive.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because that's ultimately, I think, what it is, right? It would be a definitive line to where there's no guesswork. And unfortunately, the sport that we play, as much as it's, gentlemen call each other, I mean, it gets down, it's like that with all sports, right? All of a sudden, it becomes personal.
Yeah.
If you call the guy out, it doesn't matter if he's your friend or not. You need to call the rule. You need to call the rule that you feel is right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, without it being strung, now you're going to have a difference of opinion on
There's a gray area, yeah.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Big time. I'm super bummed to hear that.
It is.
I wish they would step it up a little bit. I wish that they would just come to the table just a little bit.
It is unfortunate to hear that the Pro Tours offers, it's the World Championship, man. If not now, when?
I just want to remind everybody, right? You, me, all of you guys watching, right? We're still a volunteer-based sport, and I want to thank all of you for putting in the time on your home courses, or giving back to your local disc golf communities. Without you guys, we can't do it.
No, he's right.
I'm super blessed. I get to go to all these amazing disc golf courses, and they look their best, and I some of you watching maybe hopefully know this, but I always try to do my best to really find the people that are putting in that work and give them a little kudos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And spend a little bit of time with them and try to soak up some of that home course love that they've put in so much time, right? They have this labor of love for their home courses.
Totally.
And there's like a big sense of pride that our sport carries because we're a blue collar sport, right? We're a bunch of hardworking people, and just like, don't forget, I don't know how many pros are going to watch this, just don't forget that the dude that you might be bickering at the tournament also has a family, a job, and a life, and he's also dedicating a ton of his time to coming out and making sure the course looks good for you,
Yeah.
It's like,
no,
it's like, it's not even respect, it's just like, have the common decency as a human being to acknowledge that.
Yeah. Step out of the picture frame for a second and understand what it takes to make something like this happen.
Right. These tours don't happen without the volunteers.
No, they don't.
These world championships don't happen without the volunteers. I think that's why you got Emporia that has so many big tournaments, is because they have their staff, a dynamic. Yeah. They all live right in town. It's a really central location. Yeah. They've got 40, 50, 60 heads that can be put on task.
And Emporia is completely down.
Yeah, the community, the city has bought into like the
100%.
Ideal, and it's paying off. I mean, every tournament you go to in Emporia is just monstrous,
Yeah. And all the waiters, the staff, the service people, and all the restaurants and hotels you go to love you. They welcome disc golfers.
Yeah.
We're in a community where we're loved.
Oh, big time, right? And it's not always like that. I mean,
it's not.
No. It takes that volunteer base, and that's why you see Emporia always having like a bid up for like Junior Worlds or the World Championships or U.S. Women's or Masters Worlds. Yeah. They have a bid in all the time because they have the staff, the volunteer base to be able to sustain that. And I know that's really hard for a lot of places that have amazing, amazing courses. So I just want to let the people know, right? Like, we thank you for your amazing courses and all the hard work that you're putting in.
Amen. Yeah, well said.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true.
It is. There's a lot of people that don't get the thanks that they deserve for this sort of thing. So taking an opportunity and a chance here is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they feel that.
Yeah.
And I think they do. I mean, I know Matt's from Sweden. He's put 20 years into Yarva.
Yeah.
It's like, just don't forget that the guys that are at your local course that have played for a long time, they don't want to hear you bicker about the tournament, man. You want to fix some stuff, go donate some time. You want to host better tournaments, learn how to host them. Yeah. Host your own events and build your own staff. Yeah. And it's not as easy as it looks, and there's a ton of stuff behind the scenes hosting events that players don't see. So next time you want to, bicker and babble about some stuff on the course, think about how much hard work has already gone in.
Yeah.
Like, why do we always have to go to the negative the one little thing that you can nitpick?
It does sometimes get to that. But there are some things that deserve the nitpicking.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, in certain instances, right? There's always an exception to the rule, right? It's like, what are you trying to nitpick?
For the World Championships, maybe you should define OB.
I can agree with that, dude. I'm totally with that.
It doesn't seem wild. There's been a couple conversations on our players page, and it seems like that's unanimous at the end of the day. So it's unfortunate feedback isn't taken this time, but maybe there was too much feedback at the end of the day.
Yeah, and some people aren't great at accepting criticism, whether it be constructive or blatant.
Yeah.
Because usually, if they can't accept some constructive feedback. Now, criticism is a pretty strong word. Constructive feedback.
Yeah.
It turns into where people start getting a little, they start getting a little nippy.
Yeah. There's no room for your ego and feedback.
You just have to take it for what it is, you know. And if your course has trees that a good player hits, chances are he's going to say something about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to move it.
Yeah.
I always like yours. You're like, oh, you probably should have thrown it better.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a
I
line
love that.
over
It's
there.
just like.
Yeah. It's true. It's an easy way to say it.
Straight shooter, right?
Yeah.
You're like, don't hit the tree.
Man.
Like, I'm tired of people bitching about a course because there's trees on it.
Yeah.
You know? This is where the game started. Like, if you hit the tree, like, too bad.
Yeah.
You keep going, you know?
Yeah.
Like, best NBA players have missed a layup.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what
Did
the tree's there for.
Bicker and bitch? Did they call a timeout and bicker about it?
No, dude.
No, they went and ran another play.
Yeah.
Tried to hustle it back and get on D.
Yeah, best players always do that too.
Yeah.
All right, one thing that I'd be remiss not to mention and talk about is my first instance of meeting Gregg Barsby. It's the Iron Leaf story, man. It's a legendary one. But before we even get into that, I know that you've had some times with the champ, you know, shooting the breeze that other people haven't had the chance to.
Yeah.
You got any stories for the people, maybe?
Yeah. You know, first of all, I met Ken Climo when I was really young. I think he played the 1998 Motherlode. So I met him when I was a really little kid. And fast forward to 2005 Worlds in Allentown, and I went out there with Kathy Manley. So she was playing other courses, and Tinicum and Knockham Nixon were way out away from the Days Inn that everybody was staying at. And then Jordan Creek and Lehigh Valley were pretty close to the hotel. But they had the pools like going way out and then back over here and then to the hotel, not like playing both of the ones far away. So I didn't have a ride, and we were all playing cards in Kenny's room. And
You're already playing cards in Kenny's room at this point?
yeah. I played a lot of cards from like age 16 to about 24, but then I kind of got away from playing cards. But we're playing poker, and so I kind of had to work up the courage to ask him. I was like, hey, hey champ, can I, do you think I could ride with you at the Worlds? And he just blatantly shit on my game, dude. Like so hard. You know what he says to me? You better stay in the A pool. I'm not driving you another course. You're driving me. Like, you better get. I'm like, of course I'm gonna stay in the A pool. Call me out, man. Like, oh, it was so funny. So I was like,
stay in the A pool, son.
Yeah.
I ain't driving you anywhere else.
Right. Yeah. So that's how I really got to know Ken was riding around in his Camaro.
He had a Camaro?
Yeah, he was driving a red Camaro.
Like an IROC, or is this previous?
I think I don't know if it was an IROC.
Z's?
I don't think it was an IROC Z. No, it was a bad mobile though, man.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's the champ, you know.
Yeah.
He's rolling up with big old teeth and
Vicious,
that gold chain. He's just about as Florida as you can be. You know what I mean? Like
jump out with some
pure Florida,
cut off
bro.
jeans,
Big time, dude. Cut off Levi's. Like, I'm ready to play. So I rode with him throughout that whole Worlds. You know, even to the finals. Even to the finals where Doss ended up winning, Matty O and Barry tied for second, and Kenny kind of didn't have a great finals and took fourth. Yeah,
rode with him
to the finals.
To the finals.
Yeah.
What was he like?
Oh man,
during that time, intense.
Yeah, pretty intense. He's like, I can come back and win this thing. I got it. Like I can do it. Like it's gonna take a couple big shots. But it's possible. I don't know how many he was back, but he definitely had that mindset, the killer mindset. Like I can win this tournament.
Yeah, it's not out of my grasp yet.
Totally, and nothing ever is for that guy. He's just as driven as the pure snow. You know what I mean?
So you had the perfect accent down. You could talk like the champ after all those hours.
Yeah,
chilling with the champ.
Right. Well, I kind of knew his mannerisms. He gets animated.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was one instance, right? That's kind of how I got to know him, and we became kind of friends at that point. I would say we were more of acquaintances at that point, but I think after that,
yeah,
he kind of knew who I was a little bit more.
And
yeah. He was there the day I hit the roller ace at De La. He was on the card. Yeah.
On the card.
Yeah.
Who else was on the card?
Nate Doss. Yeah, Doss set his home course on his birthday. And Nico in 2009, he was playing like really hot. I think he got player of the year that year.
Nico was on the card too?
Yeah, Nico was on the card as well.
Nico, Nate Doss, and Ken Climo?
Yeah.
When you threw a roller race?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
you can't make that up.
No, look, here's the thing. Nobody thought I was going to win that tournament, right? It's Nate's birthday. He hadn't won the Masters Cup. He's going to win it for sure. It's the champ. I really can't bet against him.
Yeah.
It's champ forever. And then, Nico, who's like on fire, stomping everybody everywhere. So, a lot of people are thinking, he's going to win. Like, I think Matty O was probably the only guy that thought I was going to win that tournament because we did our practice rounds. I was playing the course really well. I had the sidearm roller locked in. I mean, I aced hole 4 that round, but I also birdied old hole 14 with the forehand roller 2 out of 3 rounds. You know,
what is old hole 14?
The one up and over. Like now they have a lower tee pad where you punch the gap and you went out to the left. It was one of the new tees. It was one of the new baskets this year, the longer one. Did you play Masters Cup?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the one way out in the back, right? You're all the way back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it goes over
up
to the
and
left.
around,
Yes.
Yeah.
So you played
you
the
got
other
that with a forehand.
the other tee pad, the old one.
Yeah.
I was throwing forehand roller up over the top and hitting it and letting it roll.
Got
out.
it 2 of the 3.
2 out of 3 rounds.
Nasty.
Yeah, super nasty. Like you get that one, that's a bonus.
What
for
were
sure.
you rolling? Do you know?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously.
ESP Force.
That's what you rolled the roller race with?
Yep, ESP Force.
And on that hole, lots of people try to go up the gut. Did you bring it left or did you just go?
I went left.
Okay.
Yeah, my play there is always to get the roller over. Like you can't just like whoosh, wing it over and get it to just curl out. But you've got to hit it, get it out to the left side, get it to roll down, and then eventually turn out into that fairway so you can maybe have an easy pitch for the 3. Like that's the play.
Yeah.
The 3 there is really good. People have tooed it now. It's a couple trees are gone.
Yeah, I parked it this year.
Yeah. Actually, I never tooed it before I aced it.
No way.
Yeah, when I got the 2 finally, I think I got the 2 at the fault line. I don't know, it was a few years after, 12 or 13, and I finally got the cycle. I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7 on that hole.
No way.
Yeah.
Hopefully you never take the 8.
No.
Just leave it at that.
Actually, I gotta shout out my boy Yuli. He took a 9 the round I aced it.
Did he?
I went up to him, I was like, bro, we averaged a double bogey.
Was it playing par 4?
No. I don't think it was playing par 4. I mean, it plays as one.
Yeah, totally.
And so back to the champ, right?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, who saw it go in? Was there anybody present that actually witnessed the disc go in the basket?
Oh, yeah.
Right. It had to be.
Everett Lyons was the spotter. There were about 40 or 50 people. I mean,
Did Everett lose his mind?
Kind of. He wrote like a blog online about witnessing miracles. I'm not shitting you. Like,
wow.
Yeah, he's like, day 4 since the ace. Still not much sleep. Can't get a lot of work done.
So sick, dude. Yeah, it blew his mind,
He
dude.
can corroborate that story. It was touching, dude. He's like, I've never seen a miracle happen.
Well, yeah.
So Champ is back there on the bench behind hole 4, like way back there, and he's smoking a heater.
Yeah.
Back when you could do that in tournaments.
Yeah.
Right. And Champ would always he's always got a real
yeah, right. Body up on everything.
Yeah, body up on everything, right? He's like, because there was a cheer, right? There was a yell and a cheer like over the hill because it's a blind shot, right? So
you're thinking like, no way, that was us. Or...
Well, yeah. I mean, we knew it was a good shot, but it was like, what's the word?
It was too loud.
It was an inspired cheer.
Yeah, it was too loud for just like an ended up in circle 1 cheer.
Truly. No, Champ's like, that's not a 10-foot cheer.
That's what he said?
Yeah, he's like, that's not a 10-foot cheer. I've heard a lot of those.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, Champ.
Yeah. Whatever you say, Champ.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes, Champ.
So he had a feeling right away. When did you know?
No. And so, but his thing next, right? Because I don't think he had, you just don't conceive the disc jumping up off the ground into the basket.
Yeah.
So he's like, you had to circle the lock. You got a leaner, right?
Yeah.
He's like trying to think like it's got to be on the lock, right?
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. You put it on the lock, and I'm walking up the hill like, oh my god, I put it on the lock.
Yeah,
like, if Champ says it's on the lock, it's on the lock. You know what I mean? Like, and Everett, who was the spotter, he was so great. He's like, first one hit and drop down. Second one's looking good, right in the fairway to the left. Third one went in. Fourth one went down the hill.
Third one went in.
Yeah, like super calm, right? And
no
I'm like,
way, dude.
Third one went in. He's like,
what do you mean?
He's like, third one went in.
Repeats it.
And I just started floating down the fairway, like, and ran it down. Like, it was pretty epic.
Oh my gosh, I have tears of joy.
Yeah,
listening to that story, dude.
It was super sick, right? And then,
unbelievable.
And then the Champ called me on a foot fault on the next hole.
What?
And rightly so, right? Like, my mini's here, and my foot was like over here. Like I missed the line. This was before the box.
The piece of paper,
right,
the 8x11.
Right. So
you had to be.
And I'm putting that way, and it wasn't like it was any closer, But I'm like shook, right? So this putt was for par on 5, which was 20, which was hole 23 this year. The uphill.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, you missed your mini. You're not even close. So I'm like, okay, I'm shook.
No, you're right. That's my bad.
Yeah. So I get up there, make the putt, play a few more holes, bag a big putt on 8, right? And now Nate was up by 1 on me when I hit the ace. He bogeyed 4, and I aced it, so I went up 2. So we went 3-2, 3-2. But we got to hole 10, the one coming back before you go across the street.
Yeah.
Champ stepped on his mini, on his putt.
Ooh.
And I knew what he was trying to do, and I hawked him hard. I was hawking him at that point. He's trying to steal the thunder, dude. No, he's gonna steal your thunder after you hit a roller ace. I'm not letting it happen.
Yeah.
And he like barely, his mini went up like that, and I called foot fault. Nico immediately seconded it.
Yeah.
And Champ, he's just like, he lets it go. I call foot fault, and he's like, looks straight at me, straight in my eyes, like through my soul, and the disc is like, ching, like dead center, right? He's like, all right, okay.
What are the rules back then on a foot fault?
You could rethrow.
Okay.
You had a warning.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Which I think the rule should still be that way.
Yeah.
I truly feel like that if it's not malicious,
Right.
then
If it's an accidental.
you should have a little leeway, because I think too many amateurs take advantage of that and are hawking people.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks the fun out of the game.
It does. Yeah.
But I digress. He's like, all right. Yeah, he's fucking, so he goes back, jams it again, and then at that point came up and gave me like the real solid knucks, right? To where it was like, okay, it's squashed.
Yeah.
Right? And
whoa.
Yeah, I think at that point he was like kind of rooting for me to win more than, because he had a couple rough holes.
Yeah.
I think as I kept going, I kept pushing it 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
Yeah.
I bogeyed 19. Doss parks 20 with his, I think it was his, maybe it was a Comet or a Hawk. And I followed suit, threw my flick forehand, put it right up there, parked it. Go to 21, Nate aces 21, blind shot.
What?
Yeah. Nate aced 15 holes later on his birthday.
I didn't even know that.
To tie up the match. Dude, I'm like,
what did he just do?
Thwack, right? I made a great save for the 3. It was a great save. I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh, what is happening right now?
Lost 2 to Nate on it.
And I remember like everybody walked up, and at that point, right, the news of the roller race had come, and then the crowd was around.
Yeah.
And you can look up Nate's ace online.
Okay.
Anybody that watches this.
Somebody has a video.
You can find Nate's ace. Unfortunately, they didn't get mine going in, but they got Nate's. And I remember just, kind of in that somber state where I kind of chilled back from the crowd just a little bit. Everybody walked up to the next hole. We skipped hole 22 and played 23, 24, 25, 26, 26A, and 27. Those were the last holes. And it was like kind of at that moment where I had that like moment of clarity. I was like, I'm not going to let him win. The roller race is too epic.
Yeah.
I'm never going to live this down.
Yeah.
If I don't win this tournament.
Yeah.
I'm winning this tournament.
Yeah. It was what the champ felt too when he gave you those knucks.
Right.
He felt that you were that passionate about what was happening today.
Yeah. And I just shut it down. I birdied everything up until 26 where I laid up. Or no, I think I might have 3'd 25. It was all the way up in the corner.
Yeah.
I think they were calling it a par 4, so technically I think it was a birdie. But
yeah.
Yeah, Nate had made a mistake, and I was up by 4 at that point.
Whoa.
And then he made another mistake on 26. I laid it up on 26 because that can be the really nasty roll.
Yeah.
Champ's like, that's what I'm talking about. He's like, take another stick. Yeah. He's like super hyped. Like he was super pumped.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
After calling the foot fault, having one called on him.
Yeah.
And turning into the fan.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a wild day. The Iron Leaf story kind of came just from us messing around at the bar or whatever, just me having that voice. And
yeah,
just, like,
you do.
We just kind of started like fooling around with it, you know.
It's you and Mike Castillo?
That was who filmed the video, yeah. Murder Mike got it out of me, but it was actually like 2 years prior where I started to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's an actual instance. It's a true story that
yeah,
you're talking about.
It's a true story. Yeah.
So the background of
World Championships 2008, Michigan. We're playing at Coldbrook, Feldberg's first home course, who would eventually go to win the tournament.
Oh.
Won't talk about that. Well, we should have played another course, but anyway, they played Coldbrook.
Okay.
For some reason.
Feldberg.
Yeah, Feldberg. But anywho, yeah, champ literally told me that on that whole, like, because I was like on a different loop, and I asked him, well, how's it going? And he's like, well, let me tell you, right? He's just like piping mad about this one hole. And he's like, it birdied every hole. He's like what? Like,
but you had to have become like his confidant to even hear this conversation.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, I'm like, I'll take the brunt of the weight, champ.
Yeah.
Put it on me.
Yeah.
It's like, stupid hole. He's just fuming mad. He's like, I'm still 6 down, but I'd be killing it. This dude, like, he's just, yeah. And it was so funny to me, just like the way that it went down. Now there's been some controversy on where the Iron Leaf is. The Iron Leaf is not at Lemon Lake Park. It is at Coldbrook.
Oh, nice.
Over the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, yeah. And I think that, I embellish the story a little bit, but that's how storytellers do.
Yeah.
You know?
Good storytellers like yourself, and they
And-
entertain at the same time.
And I think Ken maybe had a little animosity when that first came out.
Really?
But, it's all love, and he knows that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows that it's more of an endearment thing
Totally.
than it is like I'm bagging him because I'm not. I just thought it was a really funny story.
Yeah, he's still killing it in the story. He's murdering it. He birdied everything else.
Right. Yeah, literally birdied every other hole. Right. But he's
Yeah.
just so mad at this one shot.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the kind of guy that he is, and I think that's why that video is stuck. It's so funny, man. We went to I was in Thailand. The guy says something about it. I can go nowhere on a disc golf course and not hear about that video.
Yeah, Kev Jones is making a song.
Right, Kevin's got the drop, the fat drop.
Yeah, it's
Didn't
sick.
get up and down.
Didn't get up and down.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing. He'll debut that at the Preserve later this year.
Yeah. I better
those
be
who
on the
know.
stage for that. I'll do live vocal. There we
I'm
go.
sure he's down.
Let's do live vocals.
I'm sure
People
that'll
would
happen.
Flip. You
They
better
would.
get that on video. We'll get GK to film that, man. For
They
sure.
lose it. Man, we just had to talk about that last thing. That's my first moment of meeting Gregg Barsby. I was like, this dude's a legend. I hope one day I can sit next to him and hear some stories being
Awesome,
told.
man.
And
Yeah,
It's
glad
cool
to
to
know
be
you,
here
man.
with
I'm
you.
happy you guys. I'm happy you're on tour. We got, it's a cool eclectic mix right now of guys that have, been doing it a long time, and then some newer blood too. The game's really at this boiling point. I'm interested to see what happens this week.
yeah, I am too, man.
It's the world, so
Yeah.
anything can happen. You might have one of the new ones
Yeah.
come in and win.
It'd be crazy, man. It'd be
Obviously.
crazy, but who knows?
Obviously, Ricky and Paul have won 7 out of the last 8.
And I don't know that either one's ever been more motivated.
I know.
Isn't that the craziest part?
These guys are jerks, man. I'm just, take that with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like Paul and Ricky both. I've known them both since I think I was still a teenager when I met Paul. When he was like 14 or 15, and I met Ricky when he was like 17. So I've known those guys. I think that was probably one of the coolest moments too, because they know that I've put in that time and effort, and I think when I won, like they know the love, they know that amount of commitment. So I think that it was different maybe than somebody else winning, right?
Yeah.
They both came up and like gave me hugs. Ricky like lifted me up and stuff. I
Yeah,
think
man.
there was like there's good camaraderie there.
Yeah.
I respect the shit out of both those guys, man. They're both so motivated and driven. They really push the sport for all of us. And, and somebody had to beat them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone had to do it.
Yeah.
It's my time, and what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah.
Like you say, you just throw it better, right? You just throw the disc better.
Yeah.
Right? It's sports. You can't really have too much feeling. So, I'm excited for this week, and I think it's gonna be a really good showdown. And then we'll be out to the Midwest. We got some great tournaments out there.
Yeah.
So,
For sure, man.
thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, Gregg. Honored to be with you here. Thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Once again, guys, I just got to shout out our title sponsor, Flight Factory Discs. Couldn't do it without you guys. You should go visit them, flightfactorydiscs.com. Heather Young, one of their big pros they sponsor, and they've got all kinds of discs, apparel, everything at the website. So go check them out. Thank you guys for attending and supporting, and Gregg for being here, man.
Thank you.
That's Go Throw show number 4.
Thank everybody for tuning in, man. I appreciate you having me on. Let's go kick some ass at Worlds this week.
Let's do it, Gregg. Good stuff, bud.